Give me Arizona. Fuck it.
Welcome to Better Win Green, eh? To Better Win Green, eh? To Better Win Green, eh?
Welcome into another episode of Intentional Lounging with me and Ethan. As you can see, Ben is not here, but he is here in spirit. It was a long trip for Santa Claus this Christmas Day, so he's actually on his way back to the North Pole. But we might hear a couple things out of Ben during this episode, so he will be here in spirit. So just stay tuned for a little mismatch of Ben coming in the background. But Ethan, glad to have you here. I know we both struggled quite a bit in the NFL this holiday Christmas weekend. You feeling better about this slate, or are you like me and pretty much clueless?
Yeah, I awful Christmas weekend in the NFL, especially all sports, but NFL especially. Um, yeah, and I've just been. It's a busy time of year. I still have family in town. Um, New Year's is coming up, getting ready for that. Job interviews, all sorts of things going on this week. So honestly, I've not dug into the NFL as much as I would have liked to. Um, I will find some plays that I enjoy, but um, yeah, as Ben mentioned, last time I had my worst week in the NFL was Thanksgiving. Came back, had a bounce back, ended up having my best week ever the following week. Hoping to do the same thing this week, but I have not been able to put in quite the prep work that I would have liked to.
Yeah, and it's just hard when I know again, me and you had a terrible weekend. It's just hard when you get destroyed that much in the NFL. It's just hard to bounce back, and we are due for a big bounce back. I can't reiterate that enough. But yeah, we're due, but yeah, confidence is not there. But hopefully, Ben can bring us some good Christmas cheer as we approach the new year with this big slate. I will say, Michigan had Detroit background, first ever NFC North champions. Detroit, first time since 1993, back when it was called the NFC Central. So, big weekend for Detroit. Unfortunately, I bet the Vikings. I think you were on the Vikings. Did you bet them as well?
Yep.
Yep. So, big win for Detroit, but me and Ethan lost money, so that's just kind of how it goes. But hey, we'll take it. Still have a shot that one seed. It's a far shot, but we still have a shot.
I
Um,
don't want
I don't want it either, honestly. You ready to get into this slate?
Let's do it.
All right, the first game up Thursday night is between the Jets and the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland is a 7.5 point favorite in this game. Over under is sitting at 35 points. Ethan, I know you're a big future guy. I know you're probably not a big future prop better, but I saw Joe Flacco's number 2 in comeback player of the year. Is that ridiculous? Is it like should we just wait till like the final 2 weeks of the year to bet a MVP or bet a comeback? Like what is that?
For starters, comeback player of the year has died this year. And I don't mean that in the way that it could be taken, but Damar Hamlin, that is a bullshit victory for the comeback player of the year. I'm sorry. The dude's played like 4 snaps this year. Yes, he came back from the dead, literally, but that doesn't mean he should get some football award for not hardly stepping on the football field. So anyone who wants to bet Joe Flacco, don't do it because this was over before the season started. Damar Hamlin is your winner, comeback player of the year. As far as other awards go, ones that actually mean something, yeah, I mean, it's tough. I know Brock Purdy was minus 300 MVP heading into Monday night. Now he's like plus 1,200. So off one bad game. It was a pretty bad game, but um, yeah, it's tough. I've dabbled 1 year with the MVP. I was putting more money each week into different guys because it always flips. I ended up winning with Aaron Rodgers at the end, but yeah, I don't dabble in the awards anymore. Too unpredictable.
I will say one thing about the MVP. I'm sure you guys probably saw this. This one guy had a $2,000 ticket for Brock Purdy to win it, and he sold it right before the Ravens game for $125,000. Again, it was 2 grand to win 200,000, so he netted himself $123,000. This guy who bought it was going to net himself $75,000. Brock Purdy's plus 1,400 now because he threw 4 interceptions. I don't feel bad for that guy because that's stupid. Why would you get an MVP card, pay 125,000 for it right before he plays one of the toughest defenses in the NFL? Anyways, to each their own. I'm also not a very smart man. But let's get into this game. I am going to start it. I'm going to take Cleveland to -7.5. I mean, they kind of seem like an unstoppable force. I know that 7.5 is kind of a crappy number. We are recording this one day early, so this might move a little bit before kickoff. But I'm going to take Flacco. He's hot right now. He's playing his old kind of team in the Jets. I think he was there for what, 1.5 seasons. I just think Cleveland's hot and the Jets aren't. And the Cleveland still have a shot. I think they are in the wild card as of right now. I think they have 10 wins or something like that too. So I'm just going to take Cleveland. I know it's by the hook. 7.5 sucks, but I'm going to take them. Over-unders at 35. I'd probably lean the under, even though Cleveland's defense is not as great as they have been. Jets have a pretty solid defense. I think this probably goes under. It is the lowest, the lowest of the board. So I like doing that as well. Who do you got in this game?
We'll start off with disagreeing side and total. I like the Jets plus the 7.5. I like the over in this game. Obviously, I'm not betting the over because it's Thursday Night Football, two of the best defenses in the NFL, but it is my lean. Yeah, I like the Jets with Trevor Siemian at quarterback. I don't think there's any drop off from him and Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson out with that concussion. So I think you're getting just slight value there. Cleveland's been rolling. I know, like you just talked about, Joe Flacco, comeback player of the year, really has done way better than I ever expected him to do when he's, I don't know, 35 years old or however old he is. But you got to look at the teams he's beaten. He beat the Jags, who are just in a tailspin right now. I think they've lost 4 straight. The Bears, not impressed. They did go and beat Houston on the road, but Houston's kind of in a tailspin too. No CJ Stroud in that game. So I'm just not super impressed by Cleveland. They do have a lot to play for here to try to keep pace with Baltimore and potentially still win that division, which is not going to happen. But yeah, I just think 7.5, just a little too much in this game. I think Jets defense can keep them in this one. And even though Flacco's been good, I just don't buy into him. So I think 7.5 is too many to lay with Joe Flacco.
Well, thank God we have 3 people on this show. Santa Claus, Big Ben. I know you're on your trip back home, but you're the tiebreaker. Who do you got?
Ho, 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 ho.
Really? Great pick. Thank you for breaking the tiebreaker because I know for a fact you probably took the Browns. Not sure, but probably. Let's move on. Let's move on to a big game in the NFC, a huge game for NFC standings. We have Detroit traveling to Dallas. I believe this game is on Saturday. I believe this is a Saturday game. Dallas is at home, and I believe they're undefeated at home. They've also lost 2 straight on the road. Dallas is a 6-point favorite. The over-under is, I think, one of the NFL's highest of the year at 53.5. I think we both are seeing eye to eye in this game, but what do you got?
Yeah, so this is a Saturday night game, but this is kind of a hybrid Monday night game since we don't have Monday night football with college football playoff going on. So yes, technically Saturday, but it's kind of in place of the Monday night. And that has reason because Monday night dogs have won outright, I believe, 6 straight games, which would say the Lions continue that trend, go 7 straight. Not happening. Dallas -6 all day long. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I mean, we've talked multiple times since Sunday, but Lions off their first division win in 30 years. No chance they come in fully focused to this game. They, locked up the division, locked up a playoff spot. Dallas off 2 straight losses, 2 straight road losses, 2 good AFC teams. If they lose this game, they lose their division. They're going to be a wild card team, the 5 seed. So a lot on the line here for Dallas. They have not lost at home this year. Yeah, I mean, Dallas wins this one in a rout. I can't see Detroit sticking around. I like the under, honestly, because I just don't think Detroit puts up that many points. Like, I see this very similar to the Baltimore-Detroit game earlier in the year. I'm going to call 38-13 Dallas just in a complete blowout.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Dallas is going to wax them. Bad spot for Detroit. Again, first ever NFC title in NFC North title ever. First title in 20 years, 30 years. Sorry. What do they have to play for? This game means nothing. They already clinched the NFC North. They already clinched this playoff spot. They could barely get a 1 spot, but as I said, do they really want the 1 overall seed in the NFC? I don't know. So there's not a whole lot to play for here. Dallas is still fighting. They still have a chance to win the NFC East. Dallas has more to play for. Dallas is, I think, undefeated at home. Everything's pointing towards Dallas. I agree. It could be very much like that Baltimore game where Detroit gets waxed, which I think they need to get their confidence down for playoffs. just to show that they're not quite there yet. So I agree. I like Dallas quite a bit. I'll probably lean on the under as well because I think it's going to be a similar game, like you said, just a kind of a beatdown, 30-10 type of game, somewhere around there. So I'll agree with the under as well. Ben, what do you got?
Ho, 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 ho.
Ben makes it a trifecta. All three of us on Dallas. Love it. Ben actually has the over in that, but I like the thought process of the highest total going over. Let's move on to the Sunday slate. We have I don't even know what to do with this team anymore. We have San Fran against Washington. San Fran is a 13-point favorite on the road. Over under sitting at 49.5. I'm going to keep this really short and simple. I'm just going to take San Fran on a bounce back game. Minus 13. It's a very high spread, but they seem to always cover that unless they're playing a good team. I think they bounce back. The Commanders suck. The Commanders have given up all hope. They sold their whole team away weeks ago. They haven't won a game in weeks. I think they're on like a 6 or 7 game losing streak. San Fran's going to win this. It's just, are they going to cover? And I'm going to put my money that they will. What about you?
Yeah, this game's tough. Don't think I can bet this one. But I'm gonna lean with 49ers. It's gonna be extremely public. I mean, it's just disgusting. But yeah, I think I mean Washington's done. They were done at the trade deadline when they sold off Sweat and Chase Young. Chase Young revenge game here against his old Commanders team. I think he's gonna be active. I think Brock Purdy is gonna want to prove that he's better than his 4 interception game that he just showed on Christmas night, which he is better. San Fran is still the number one ranked team in the NFL, in my opinion. Still the team to beat. Don't care that they just got their doors blown off them by Baltimore. Um, you look at similar games for Washington this year, high octane offenses got blown out by the Bills by 34 points, blown out by the Cowboys by 35 points, blown out by the Dolphins by 30 points. That's probably similar here again. Um, yeah, I think I just can't bet on Washington right now. I think they've kind of quit on the year. San Fran bounce back game. Not that they really need it, but yeah, I think they get it done by double digits or by 2+ touchdowns.
And Ben
Ho, 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 ho.
makes it 3. 3 people all for San Fran. Again, don't love this game, but I mean, are we really taking the Commanders? I can't do it. So let's move on to, again, not a great game, but probably a pretty public game. We are the Rams and the Giants. The Rams are traveling to New York. Rams are a 4.5-point favorite on the road. Over under sitting at 43.5. Rams are hot. Rams are hot right now. Are they going to stay hot in this game? Public will probably think so. I would have to think the public is very high on the Rams. Are you going to side with the public on this one?
You know, I'm gonna take the Giants. I'm gonna take a stab on the Giants. Um, this is tough. The Rams do look really good. They're probably gonna end up making the playoffs. But I like Tyrod Taylor as starting quarterback for the Giants. If this were Tommy DeVito, I'd probably lay with the Rams. But I think Tyrod showed that he's still got a decent arm. He can still kind of lead a team. I think he showed that Christmas Day. Um, I think he goes out there with a little more confidence and a little less care, I guess. I think he's gonna kind of just sling the ball around and have some success doing it. I could see this being like a Rams winning by 3. I think 4.5 is just too many points here, especially in New York. Tough travel spot for LA. So yeah, I'm gonna lay the points with the Giants. I see the Rams are a little bit public too, and this has gone from 6.5 to 4.5.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm going to take the Giants at the +4.5 simply because Tyrod Taylor is, I think, better. When Tyrod came in on Christmas Day against the Eagles, I knew my bet was fried. And that wasn't because I lost 10 to 15 bets in a row. It's because Tyrod Taylor is just flat out better than DeVito. And he can run. I think he can throw the ball better. Just knew that bet was washed. So I'm going to agree. Who's going to take the Giants against a very hot Rams? I am. Ben?
Ho, 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 ho.
I figured you'd be with the public, Ben. I figured you'd be with the public. You are taking the Rams. I I can see it. I can very well see it happening. I can't believe we're both taking the Giants, me and you, Ethan. But the Tyrod effect, I think will go a long ways. Let's move on to a game that means everything to me for my parlay, which is pretty much done except this one freaking matchup, and that is the Dolphins and the Ravens. Ravens are at home and they're a 3-point favorite. Over under is at 47. I'm gonna take wow. I'm gonna give it to you first, Ethan.
Yeah, Baltimore. I mean, gosh, I wish they would have lost to San Fran. This would have been a smash spot on Baltimore, but Dolphins are still frauds. I don't care that they went and beat Dallas at home. Still, I'm not bought into Miami whatsoever. I honestly think their only chance of winning a playoff game is if they match up with Kansas City. Um, as bad as that is, but I don't think they beat Buffalo. I don't think, well, they won't match up with Baltimore. Um, the way things are shaken out here, I don't see them matching up with one of the lower level AFC teams, wild card teams. So I really think their only shot is against Kansas City because I think they'll outscore Kansas City. Um, but yeah, I'm not a believer. I still think Baltimore is a top 3 team in the league. I mean, my power rankings right now: San Fran, Buffalo, Baltimore, Dallas, in that order. So yeah, I'm still heavily bought into Baltimore at home for the AFC 1 seed. No doubt in my mind, Baltimore gets this game done.
I hope they do. I need Miami to lose this game, and I need Miami to lose to Buffalo. But I'm gonna go with Miami just because I feel like with my luck recently, my there's no way that parlay is gonna hit. So I'm just gonna hope it's dead. Hope Miami ends my hopes a week early. But yeah, I'll be rooting very hardcore for Baltimore. I just think Baltimore is on fire. And again, I agree with you. I think Miami's frauds. I agree with the statement that they could probably only beat the Chiefs. I know that's tough to hear, Ben, but who do you got in this game?
Ho, 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 ho.
And Ben's on Baltimore. I don't hate it. I'm going to be rooting for it. I'm just going to, for the graphic, take Miami for when Miami breaks my heart. The next game, this is also, I guess, a second game for the parlay. We have the Patriots traveling to Buffalo. Buffalo is a 12-point favorite. Over under is 40.5. Again, I need Buffalo, and I believe Buffalo lost to the Pats this year. Yeah. So this is kind of a revenge spot for Buffalo. They're hot. I think they're a completely different team they are now than they were even 5-6 weeks ago. This team, they're number 2 in your power rankings. I think they're right up there. I'd probably put Baltimore ahead of them, but they're probably top 3 in mine. I'm going to take them to cover, and I hate it because I think that's probably the most obvious bet on the board. But I'm going to take them at the minus 12. They're just a better team. They're just a better team, and I think the Pats are just they're done. I mean, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. I think Buffalo, they need this win. It's a huge look ahead spot, which I'm terrified of. Because if Miami loses to Baltimore, the winner of that Miami Buffalo game wins the AFC West, or is it West or South? West
East.
or East? Sorry, East, North, South, East, West. Wins the AFC East, so it's a huge look ahead spot for Baltimore, or sorry, for Buffalo. So I am worried about that, but they're just playing so damn good right now. So I'm gonna take them on the spread. Let me guess, you're on the Pats.
No chance. No
Okay,
chance am I on the Pats. I'm seeing the Pats are public, which I love.
really?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Buffalo to smash them here in Buffalo. Revenge spot, can't lose. Everything's going towards Buffalo here. Um, Patriots off a win, so we might be getting a touch of extra value here. If they're off a loss, this might be 13 and a half. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Buffalo, my number 2 team in the NFL right now. I still think they make it to the Super Bowl and play San Francisco. Like you said, next week is a huge matchup for them, which I forgot to mention is also a huge matchup for Miami. So another reason for liking Baltimore. Even if Miami loses against Baltimore, they can still go beat Buffalo and win that division. So really not a huge spot there for Miami other than for that 1 seed. But um, yeah, I think Buffalo blows the doors off of New England here. New England does have the Jets on deck, so they might just want to be looking to finish their season with a win there against a division opponent. So, not that they're looking past Buffalo; they would love to knock Buffalo out of the playoffs in this game, but I don't think they have the offensive power to hang with Buffalo in this one. Even though they
I,
already beat them, but Bills were
yeah,
not nearly as good back then.
I hope you're right, Ben. Can you make it a trifecta?
Ho, 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 ho.
And you can't. It makes sense though. You took the public side, so you're true to your word. Let's move on. We have Arizona against Philly. This Philly team, man, they're minus 11 at home. Over under is 48.5. You wanna go give a go at this one first? You wanna flip a coin first? You want me to?
I mean, here's the thing, it feels great that I've been talking shit about Philly for basically all season, and they're showing that I was right the entire time. Um, I do love that. This team sucks. They really are not good. I'm gonna say it, they have 0 chance of winning the Super Bowl, just none whatsoever. Um, they're just not a good team. They really aren't. That being said, I don't know if I can back Arizona on the road in this game here. Philly does have another date with the Giants next week, but they took that division lead over Dallas with Dallas's loss to Miami. I think they just want to pounce on that kind of a wounded animal there in Dallas, and I think Philly just wants to win this game and kind of lock up that division. So I'm reluctantly going to lay it with Philly. I'm not going to bet it. I don't trust Philly to win by margin whatsoever. But yeah, I just give me Arizona. Fuck it.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know why. I'm not betting it. Give me Arizona.
I'll
Philly
tell you
sucks.
why, and it's 2 words. Wow. I'll tell you why, and it's 2 words. Dan, Patricia, get them out of my face. Don't ever want to see Philly again with that stupid dumbass as their DC now. Yeah, give me Arizona plus the 11. No way Arizona wins, but I could see Philly winning by 5 again or some BS score where I bet them and they don't even come close to covering. Guys running to each other on the kick return, pick six, the whole deal. Ben, what do you got?
Ho, 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 ho.
Ben makes it a trifecta on the Cardinals. I mean, I will not make that our squad ride, and that is a worst bets guarantee. That would be disgusting. But hey, 3 dumbasses picked Arizona, so maybe watch for Philly to win by 3 touchdowns. Let's move on. I kind of like this game, even though it might come off as kind of ugly. We have the Raiders traveling to the Colts. Colts are a 3.5-point favorite at home. Over under is 43.5. I love the Raiders in this game. I love the Raiders. I'm going to take them at plus 3.5. It might be my favorite bet on the board. This team, I don't know. Ever since firing that coach, I don't know their exact record, but they've been kind of hot. Maybe 2 losses in there and 4 or 5 wins. They now have a legitimate shot at a wild card in the AFC. What is that? West, whatever. Wait, AFC West. They have a legitimate shot after beating the Chiefs. I mean, this team just battles, and Crosby is the most fun guy I've ever watched play. He's in on every single tackle. I think he plays like 93% of the snaps on the year, which is unheard of from a defensive end. And the Colts just lost a bad game last week. They're still in contention for their division, but it's coming out of their grasp. And I think this is just I don't think this is a great game for the Colts. I think it's a bad spot for them. I think it's a great spot for the Raiders. So I'm going to take them with a plus 3.5, but I think the Raiders win outright. How about you?
I tend to agree. I think I like the Raiders. My fear in this one is this could be a massive flat spot after beating the Chiefs on Christmas Day. But yeah, I mean, Raiders are 4-3 after firing McDaniels there. So playing hard for their interim coach. And I honestly just think they're better than what we really give them credit for. The Colts are okay. I mean, 8-7. I think they're a little worse than that record, but I think they're going to fizzle out. Obviously, a 3-way tie with them, Jacksonville and Houston at the top of that division. I still think Jacksonville finds a way to win. That's probably wishful thinking on my part, but it's just tough for me to see the Colts or Houston winning that division this year. Yeah, I think Houston takes Indy takes a big step back in that division race with a loss this week. I think the Raiders get it done. I think the Raiders go toe-to-toe with Kansas City at the end of the season here to win that division. Yeah, this is really more wishful thinking. Kind of like the over too. I mean, Colts dead nuts over.
Yep.
Raiders have the ability to score. Their defense did stifle Kansas City, but I honestly think that was more that Kansas City's offense just wasn't working. They
You
just don't
tell
have
me.
anyone.
No, I'll tell you what happened. It's because me and you were on Kansas City, and then the Raiders
That's true.
scored 2 touchdowns in 6 seconds. That's what
That's true.
happened
Defensively.
defensively.
Yeah. 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 Good God. You had to bring it up.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I like it though. Can we make it a squad ride, Ben?
Ho, 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 ho.
And we can't. Thank you for taking the Colts. Moving on. Another great game, divisional game. I don't know how many times I'm going to say moving on either, so I apologize. But we have the Saints traveling to the Bucks. Bucks are a 3-point favorite. Over under is 42.5. This is also one of those games for my little parlay that it's not as meaningful as a Miami Buffalo games, but it's up there as well because I have Tampa to win that division. So big divisional game. I'm going to send it to you because mine is more emotional than logic.
Mine feels logical and emotional at the same time. I still need the Falcons to win the division, and I'd like the Saints to get this one done. I think they win this game outright. They've already played each other this year. Tampa Bay did win it. Tampa on a 4-game win streak. New Orleans has been struggling. I backed New Orleans on Thursday night. Didn't even come close to getting it done for me. Um, the line is just weird. 3 points at home for Tampa here on a 4-game win streak. Really fishy to me. Um, I think New Orleans evens the score here 1-1, which I think Tampa can still go in, beat Carolina next week, and probably still win that division for you. But yeah, I think New Orleans is playing literally for their playoff life here. If Tampa loses, they still have a shot to control their own destiny next week. So I think we're going to see a big effort from the Saints. I really don't think these teams are too much different. I think they're both decent, not great. Yeah, I think +3 for the Saints. Too many points probably, and I think they win this game outright.
Yeah, I agree. It's never easy. It's never easy. It'd make too much sense for Tampa to win this game right here. So I have the Saints. I like them at the +3. I agree. I think they win it outright on the money line. Just seems like a terrible spot for Tampa. And they'll still Tampa still, like you said, probably win that division with the win over Carolina in week 18. But this is just going to add on the pressure with the Saints winning in this game. So yeah, I really like that game as well. Ben, trifecta?
Ho, 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 ho.
Never a trifecta. There's never a trifecta these days unless it's called the Arizona Cardinals, and that cannot happen. But
Nope.
another game, another fishy game, another game that has importance to your NFC South. We have the Falcons traveling to the Bears. Bears are a 3-point home favorite. Over under is 38. I'm taking the Falcons. I'm rooting for you. I'll take them at the -3. I don't know, or at the +3. No idea why the Bears are favorited. I think the Falcons are a better team. I know Chicago had a little spurt there where they were playing really well. I just don't think they're a good team. I think this is a fishy line. I like the Falcons quite a bit at the +3.
I completely agree. I'm never laying points with Chicago until they do some serious reevaluating of that entire team. So yeah, no chance I can lay 3 with Chicago. I will back Atlanta. Um, yeah, I don't get Chicago. They always turn it on late and ruin some bets of mine, but I think Atlanta has a ton to play for here. I think they're the better team by quite a bit, even though they're not that good. I still think the Bears are just complete trash. So, yeah, getting +3 on the road for Atlanta, I'll take that.
Do you hear that?
Ho, 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 ho.
That's a trifecta. That's what a
Boom.
trifecta sounds like. Atlanta at the +3. I love it, Ben. Thank you for completing the trifecta so it doesn't have to be the Cardinals. Next game, ugly game. No idea what to even think about either of these teams. Panthers, Jaguars. Jags are at home. They're on 4-game losing streak. They're a 7-point favorite. Over under 38. What are we doing here?
I mean, there's zero chance I bet this game. Zero. I can't back the Panthers because the opposite side is always the most public team of the week. Does not matter who they're playing. Jacksonville has been a train wreck. I don't even know who's going to be playing quarterback this week. Can't bet it. Can't even really give you much. I'll lean Jacksonville because they need it. I would actually probably prefer Beathard at quarterback at this point. I think T-Law just needs to just sit, get a little bit healthier, and I think the Jags just need a spark. And I think Beathard can maybe be that spark. Not that Beathard's anywhere close to as good as T-Law is, but something's got to change. So yeah, I'd like to see Beathard go out there. I'll give it to Jacksonville, but zero chance I can get involved in this game.
Yeah, Jacksonville is another one of those teams. I should really stop talking about this parlay because it's not hitting, but I need them to win it. I like Carolina at the +7. It's never easy, as I said. It's never easy. Carolina's gross, but Jacksonville's playing like ass, and they lost 4 in a row. It's hard for me to back them, especially as a touchdown favorite. Ben,
Ho, 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 ho.
Ben's also taking the Panthers, and every time you give out the Panthers, don't you do a little dry heave in the mouth?
A little bit.
Wow, Santa. Changed man after Christmas. I love it.
Man.
Next game, crappy game. Titans, Texans. Texans are at home. 4.5-point favorite. Over under is 43. I'm going to keep this one simple because it's not the greatest game. Houston won the first time, I believe, in overtime. I'm going to take the Texans on revenge. I'll take them at the the Titans on revenge. I'm going to take them at +4.5 at Houston. I don't know who's playing quarterback at Houston. I don't care. I think the Titans win it outright, but I'll take them at the plus 4.5.
Completely agree. I hope it's Stroud, honestly. Titans had the Texans dead to rights, and that was only 2 weeks ago. So it's a quick revenge spot. Titans should have won that game. Gave it up late, and then, like you said, lost it in overtime. Yeah, Titans win this game outright. I really hope it's Stroud. But 4.5, way too many points. Love it.
Ben?
Ho, 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 ho.
Texans. Can't believe it.
Can't
Can't believe it,
ride.
Benjamin. Can't squad ride it. All right. Probably, in my opinion, the grossest game of the slate. We have the Steelers traveling to Seattle. Seattle is a 3.5-point favorite at home. Over under is 41.5. I'm clueless, so I'm going to send it to you to make me look better.
Yeah, I'm not backing Pittsburgh again. Even though they're off a huge 34-11 win, I don't care. This team sucks. They are the worst 8-7 team. Well, Minnesota was pretty bad, but they were better than 8-7. This team is just awful. Big matchup with Baltimore on deck. Not that they're looking ahead because they still have a shot to make the playoffs here, but yeah, I think Seattle at home. I think you're getting a touch of a decent line here, just because Pittsburgh did dismantle the Bengals last weekend. But yeah, I don't love this game. I'll take Seattle minus the 3.5. I just think they're way better.
Yeah, I think we're getting a discount with Seattle. So I have a hard time laying with Pittsburgh ever. I think it's better now that they had a nice little blowout win. So I think that Seattle's kind of a bargain right now. I'll take them at 3.5. And Ben?
Ho, 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 ho.
Ben's also taking Seattle at the 3.5. Another opportunity for a squad ride. I like that game quite a bit. Or I like that play quite a bit, even though the game's trash. Finally, not finally, we have 3 more games, but a big game. We haven't brought them up this show yet, probably because Big Ben's out. But we got the Bengals and the Chiefs. 2 very weird teams, 2 potentially fraud teams, 2 potentially good teams. I don't know. I can't read them. But the Chiefs are a 7-point favorite at home. Over under is 44. Since Ben isn't here, I'm going to diss on the Chiefs. I think they're frauds. I'm not scared of them one bit. I will take the Bengals at the plus 7. That's pretty much no explanation, but I can't trust them anymore. I've lost so much money on the Chiefs. It's not even funny.
Yeah. This game, I mean, obviously Bengals Chiefs has been a great matchup for the last 2-3 years. Sucks that we're not getting the full potential out of this matchup here, but yeah, I'll lay it with Kansas City. It's absolutely disgusting. No chance even a penny of my own money touches the Chiefs on the spread here, but I don't know, man. I mean, 7, that's such a weird line for a team that they literally, yeah, they could not have looked worse on Christmas Day. That they looked like the Panthers would have beaten them, honestly. They looked so bad offensively. It was just horrible. Which I'll give Mahomes credit. He has nothing to work with there. His line is awful. His receivers can't get open. They can't run the ball. Offensively, they're horrible. Kelsey is off in La La Land with Taylor Swift. He sucks. I'll also say, though, Mahomes, still a generational talent, but that just goes to show you when you don't have the fastest receiver and the best tight end at top capability, yeah, anyone can kind of falter there. So still great, still one of the top quarterbacks to ever play the game. But I mean, I think Tyreek Hill and Kelsey at his peak really, really helps Mahomes look just a touch better than what he actually is. Yeah, all that being said, I'll lay it with Kansas City. The line's just too weird, but zero chance I bet this game.
I will say before I hand it off to you, Ben, I do like how Mahomes played in that game. He didn't really give up. The whole team gave up. Like the whole team, the line gave up. Kelsey was throwing his helmet, giving up when they completed a 4th down. Like the whole team, Mahomes looked like the only guy trying out there. And I almost felt bad for a second, but then I remembered it's a Chiefs. But he was really trying. He was, and I know he's whatever. He's one of the greatest to play, but like he was really trying that game. So nothing against Mahomes. It's just the team. It's not a good roster. So sorry to diss on your Chiefs when you're not here, Ben. But who do you got in that game?
Ho, 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 ho.
And Ben agrees the Chiefs might be on the chopping block. So he took the Bengals. That's a ballsy move, and I respect it. I respect it. Let's move on to the backup quarterback bowl. We have Easton Stick and the LA Chargers against Stidham. Is that who it is? And the Denver Broncos.
Yep.
Broncos are a 3-point favorite at home. Over under is 37.5. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take the Broncos still here. I'm gonna take them at the -3. I think they're just a better team. I can't trust the Chargers even without their coach. Denver's still in it, and the fact that they benched Russell is it's a very weird play. So either they have a lot of confidence in their backup, or I guess that's the only answer to that. So I'm gonna trust that they have the confidence and the better coach. So I'll take them on the -3. But if you're betting that game, good luck, because I don't even know where you begin to look at a side in that one. Who do you got?
I love the Chargers, and
Really?
the benching is the full reason for it. I mean, imagine if you were on that team, you still have a outside shot to make the playoffs, and then you get told your starting quarterback, basically your uh, ownership and coaches have quit on the year. You're done. Russell Wilson's getting benched just so you can save some money as a team. Yeah, the team basically just quit when they're still alive for the playoffs. I don't think the other guys in the locker room are going to respond well to that whatsoever. Chargers, after firing their coach, almost beat Buffalo, and obviously I've talked about how much I like Buffalo, so that was a great effort from the Chargers. I think they're playing hard at the end of the year. Might want to play a little bit spoiler here against the Broncos and then the Chiefs to end the season. Yeah, I think the effort is completely different from both teams. I think we see a big effort from LA. I think Denver's gonna quit. Hopefully, I hope Denver quits on the team like the team quit on them, or the ownership. So yeah, I think Chargers win this game outright.
I like that side now that you're talking about it, but I'll stay true to my word. I like that reasoning quite a bit now that I'm thinking about it, but I'll stay on Denver.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ben's on Denver as well, which is interesting because that is a weird battle now for the AFC West. That's almost wide open. So, yeah, just a weird move, and I really like that reasoning. So I might flip on my betting, but for the graphic, I'll stay on the Broncos there. And then finally, the final game of the slate, the NFC North, also kind of wide open for that wild card spot. We have the Packers traveling to the Vikings. Vikings are a 1.5 point favorite at home. Over under is 46. These two teams played quite a long time ago. I think the Vikings won 24-10. So a major revenge spot for the Packers. I believe both teams are I think they're the same record, 7-9. Is that correct? I think they're both
7-8.
7-8. So big spot for both these teams fighting for a wild card spot. I'm going to send it off to you first. You're more the NFC North guy.
I like the Packers money line. I'll take them on the +1.5, or +2, whatever we're sitting at. Um, I think Minnesota was kind of gutted last week. Honestly, they did not look good. 4 interceptions from Mullins. It was kind of just disarray all over the place. Um, actually, if Mullins was even a decent quarterback, he had Justin Jefferson wide open for the game-winning touchdown. He was had Melifonwu completely beat just through a complete duck to where Justin Jefferson was, not where he was going to be, and it was an easy interception to seal the game. Literally 99% of NFL quarterbacks would have made that touchdown throw there. So, yeah, I think they're just kind of gutted. Their playoff chances are basically shot after that loss. Might want to get some instant revenge on Detroit. Feel like they let a game slip through their grasp, which they did. Um, yeah, I think the Packers are still fighting hard. Packers are off that win against the Panthers where they almost gave that one up, but I think it took some grit to hang in there and end up winning that game. So I think they'll bring in a little confidence into this one. Still alive for the playoffs. If they can beat Minnesota, they just have to beat the Bears at home, which they should be able to easily do. So I think we see a big effort from Green Bay. I think Minnesota comes out flat.
And I know this isn't the Green Bay that we're used to, but how many times have we seen the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs? Green Bay Packers as first seed in the NFC North, obviously not this year, but they're just a better team. And even I know both these teams are not what they normally are. Their injuries have ruined multiple players on each of these teams. But yeah, I agree. I think the Packers have more to play for. It's really hard to beat a team twice, so that also gives me more motivation on the Packers. Hawkinson's out now with ACL for the year. It's got to be Green Bay, right? It's got to be Green Bay in Minnesota. I like Green Bay quite a bit. Ben?
Ho, 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 ho.
Ben also is on Green Bay. So you have a couple potential squad rides there. Yeah, it's a tough board. It's a tough board, but we got through it. Might have been a world record for how fast we got through that board.
Yeah, that was quick.
This shows you our confidence level, or lack thereof. But yeah, you want to get into our big three real quick?
Squad ride?
Squad wide. Wow. Squad ride first for sure. Okay. So even though we agreed on the Cardinals, I don't want to bet the Cardinals.
How do we feel about Dallas? I think we're all on Dallas.
I think we are all on Dallas. We are all on Dallas. You want to take Dallas? The -6?
I almost offered up $20 to anyone who left a comment on the video if Dallas doesn't cover, but I forgot I'm broke right now because I lost every bet I've made in the last 8 days. So maybe that will come for a later date. But that's how confident I am that Dallas covers the spread.
All right, let's do. I like it. I like it. I can't wait for the comment. Detroit versus everyone, but you're a big spot guy, and this is a terrible spot for Detroit. And
Horrible. Worst spot in 30 years, some would say.
yeah. All right, let's do Dallas -6 as our squad ride.
Like it.
All right, big three. You want to kick it off?
I will kick it off. So yeah, Dallas would have been my big three. Not now. We'll take Baltimore -3. We will take Tennessee +4.5. And we will take man. I like the Chargers a lot, but I'll take New Orleans +3.
Damn. Okay. You got a couple of mine in there. I'm gonna take the over in the Raiders Colts at 43.5. I'm gonna take the Packers at. I'll just take Packers money line. If they lose by 1, I'll take the Packers on the spread. Damn. And then I'm gonna take. Shoot. I'm gonna take the Giants +4.5.
Like it.
And Ben, finally your big three. Beautiful. Well, boys, that was how you get through a slate in 41 minutes. Usually these are hour-long episodes. We are not going to be doing only hands today just because we're without one of the members. And it's, let's be honest, it's a busy week between Christmas and New Year's. We both have a lot of things to do. But Ethan, you have anything to add before I do the outro here?
Yeah, just quickly. Tennessee has moved to 5, so slash down to 5 instead of a +4.5 for me there on the big three.
Yep.
Other than that, no, I hope everyone had a more profitable Christmas weekend than we did, which isn't tough. If you won a bet or two, you probably did. And yeah, have a happy and safe New Year. Hopefully a more profitable New Year weekend than this past one.
Yeah, make sure you guys check us out on Twitter as well. All of our usernames are below our images on this graphic here. We do tweet out our plays. I know we talk about a lot of games on the show, but our official plays we'll tweet out on Twitter. Also check out our website, bettergreen.com. We will have more blogs as the season gets less crazy. I know it's really hard. A lot of family time, a lot of, between traveling, Christmas and New Year. So we will have more blogs. We'll have get into a bunch of other sports as well. So make sure you check out all of our shows. Me and Ethan are currently doing every single bowl game preview, so you can check those out. We'll have more college basketball coming for you. I know Ben does a bunch of MMA as well, so we have a little bit of everything over here at Better and Green. So make sure you do check us out. Please like and subscribe. We had, I believe, $52 or $53 sent to St. Jude. So thank you guys for subscribing during that promo time. And I know it's not a lot, but we're happy that we could send a donation over there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys.
You better start listening to the Better and Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Better and Green, eh? To Better and Green, eh? To Better and Green, eh? Listen in and cash out. That's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spot from the bottom to the top, hey. Shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome, welcome to our podcast, Better and Green.